You are being watched right now. Your brain is certain of it, not your conscious mind. That part knows you are sitting in a room, probably alone, probably safe, probably staring at a screen. But underneath that, something older is scanning the shadows, checking the corners, listening for sounds that don't belong. It has been doing this your entire life. You just stopped noticing. Here is the strange part. The system running that low-level surveillance was not designed for the world you live in. It was designed for a world that vanished roughly 10,000 years ago. A world where something with teeth was almost always close enough to matter. And despite everything that has changed since then, your brain never got the update. Think about the last time you felt uneasy in a parking garage, or jolted awake at a sound in the middle of the night that turned out to be nothing, or felt the hairs on your arm rise when you walked into a room and could not immediately see everyone in it. That was not anxiety. That was not weakness. That was an ancient security system doing exactly what it was built to do. And the tragedy is that it is running in a world it was never designed for. To understand why your brain behaves this way, you have to go back a long time. Not decades, not centuries, millions of years. Your ancestors were not always at the top of the food chain. For most of human prehistory, they were closer to the middle. Primatologist Donna Hart and anthropologist Robert W. Sussman spent years building a case for what they called the prey hypothesis, published in their 2005 book, Man the Hunted. Their argument was simple and deeply uncomfortable. For millions of years, the ancestors of modern humans were not the hunters. They were the hunted. Leopards, eagles, crocodiles, saber-toothed cats, hyenas. All of them ate your ancestors on a regular basis. The fossil record confirms it. Skull punctures that match leopard canines. Claw marks on ancient hominin bones. Eagle talon scrapes on the skulls of small children who lived 3 million years ago. Your lineage survived because of fear, not courage, fear. The individuals who were slightly too relaxed, who did not scan the tree line, who did not feel that cold prickle of wrongness before anything was visibly wrong, they got eaten. And they did not pass that relaxed temperament on to anyone. The ones who survived were the ones whose nervous systems were tuned one notch too high, who flinched before they understood why, who felt the threat before the threat revealed itself. You are descended from those people. Now here is where it gets more specific. Your brain did not evolve a single all-purpose fear response. It evolved several distinct alarm systems, each tuned to a different kind of ancient threat. Neuroscientist Joseph LeDoux spent decades mapping these systems, and what he found was that the fear response does not run through your conscious mind first. It runs through a small almond-shaped structure, buried deep in your temporal lobe called the amygdala, which processes potential threats faster than your cortex can form a thought. Your amygdala can trigger a full-body alarm, heart rate spike, cortisol flood, muscle tensing, before you are consciously aware of what you saw or heard. Before you can say, "That was nothing," your legs are already moving. That is not a glitch. That was a survival advantage. 1/10 of a second is the difference between alive and eaten. But there is a cost to running that system in a world with no predators. The amygdala cannot reliably tell the difference between a leopard in the grass and a difficult email from your boss. It registers threat. It escalates. Your cortisol rises. Your heart rate climbs. Your body prepares to either fight or flee. And then there is no leopard. There is no physical danger. There is just your body, flooded with stress hormones it has no physical outlet for, running a threat response designed for a world that no longer exists. Psychologist Martin Seligman called this preparedness theory. Some fears are not learned, they are prepared. Meaning, your brain is pre-wired to find certain things threatening with almost no prior experience. Snakes, spiders, heights, darkness. Open spaces where you cannot see what is watching you. Faces that are almost human, but not quite right. These are not random phobias. Each one maps directly onto an ancient real-world threat your ancestors faced. Venomous creatures, falling, exposure to predators, predators that hunt at night. You are not afraid of those things because of something that happened to you. You are afraid of them because of something that happened to your ancestors 10,000 generations ago, and the memory was encoded not in your mind, but in your genome. Walk into a dark room alone and tell yourself there is nothing there. Your cortex will agree immediately. Your amygdala will not care. There is another layer to this. Your predator detection system is not just tuned for animals, it is tuned for watching, for being seen. Researchers at University College London found that the human brain contains specialized neurons that respond specifically to the perception of being observed, even when no observer is actually present. This is part of what evolutionary psychologists call hyperactive agency detection, a term coined by cognitive scientist Justin Barrett. The idea is simple. Your ancestors lived in a world where misidentifying a threat cost you your life. Hearing wind and assuming it was a predator was embarrassing. Hearing a predator and assuming it was wind was fatal. So natural selection tilted your detection system toward false positives. You evolved to find agents, watchers, hunters, presences, even where none exist. The result is a brain that sees faces in clouds, that hears footsteps in white noise, that feels a presence in an empty room, that cannot walk past a dark window at night without some part of it expecting something to be there, looking in. This is not superstition. This is not irrationality. This is your ancient security system performing exactly as designed. And it does not stop at perception. It shapes your behavior in ways you almost certainly do not notice. You instinctively choose seats with your back to the wall. You feel uneasy standing in the center of a large open space. You scan for exits when you walk into an unfamiliar room. You notice movement at the edge of your vision before you notice anything in the center of your field of view. These behaviors were not chosen. They were selected over millions of years of being hunted, because the individuals who did not do them died before they could pass their genes forward. Psychologist Arne Ullman spent years studying what he called the threat superiority effect, the finding that the human visual system detects threatening stimuli, particularly angry faces or animal shapes, faster than it detects neutral stimuli, even when those threatening stimuli are hidden among dozens of distractors. Your brain is running a continuous scan below the threshold of consciousness, looking for exactly the kind of thing that used to kill you. Here is the modern mirror. Every time you check your phone compulsively, some part of that is the same system. Social threat is processed in the same neural circuits as physical threat. Being excluded, judged, watched unfavorably. Your brain classifies these with the same urgency it once used to classify being stalked. The anxiety you feel before a difficult conversation. The sleeplessness before a performance. The way your stomach drops when you see a message notification you are not ready to open. These are all echoes of the same system. Your ancient threat detector, running in a world of offices and social media and crowded cities, finding predators in the shapes of deadlines and opinions and other people's expectations. You are, in a very real biological sense, still living in the savannah, still scanning the tree line, still waiting for the thing in the dark to move. The predator is gone. The alarm is not. And the next time you feel that cold prickle of unease for no visible reason, in a parking garage, in a quiet house, in a room full of people who are all looking somewhere else, understand what that feeling actually is. It is 10 million years of survival encoded in your nervous system. It is the inheritance of every ancestor who was just frightened enough, just alert enough, just paranoid enough to make it through another night. They were afraid so you could exist. And somewhere in your brain, right now, You are still being watched.